Hi guys, it's Mrs. Lacefield here. I've gotten a few messages that I have some students who are stumped with a couple of our Prodigy review questions this week. So I figured I would go over it, post this to Google Classroom so you can use this as a reference, okay? So on your Google Classroom assignment when we're reviewing for the SGA, you might have an assignment that says something like this: represent 3/3 using quarters fraction strips, and then you have this picture of a rectangle, okay? This rectangle equals one whole. So remember, any number or any fraction when we have the number over itself, like 3 over 3, 2 over 2, 4 over 4, that just means one whole, okay? So when you look at this, and you can't see it right here on my screen, but when you look on Prodigy, you'll see over on the, which side? Right-hand side, sorry about that, right-hand side, there will be little tiny squares or rectangles, and they're going to be labeled 1/8, 1/6, 1/4, 1/2, 1/3, something like that, okay? So you want to find the one that is quarters. Now, quarters is just another way that we say 1/4, okay? So we're going to find the quarters fraction strips or the 1/4 fraction strips, and we're going to drag them over, okay? So you'll drag them over one at a time. So you'll drag one over, it'll pop right here. Another one will go about right here. Another one will go right here. And then another one will go right here, right? So we'll go until it's all the way filled up. Once it's all the way filled up like this, we know that it's complete, okay? So 4/4 is the same thing as 3/3. Huh, that's interesting that I just said 3/3 and 4/4 both equal one whole, because you can see this fills up one whole, right? So that's what you're going to do on this one. Let me give you another example. What if it says something like this? It might say represent, so let me write this out. Represent, let's do, 3 over 1. We'll talk about that in just a second. So 3 first, I guess is how you would say it. You don't usually say it that way, but that's how officially you would say it. Represent that fraction using, and let's do thirds. Thirds, fraction. You know what? We're not going to do thirds. We're going to do halves. I don't want you to get confused since I'll have two numbers with 3. So using halves, fraction, strips. Okay? So then from there, since we have 3 over 1, let's think about what does that mean? And it's actually going to show you on Prodigy. I just want to talk you through it real quick, okay? So 3 over 1. Well, if we know that 1 over 1 means one whole, let me think. 1 over 1 is one whole. 2 over 1 would be two wholes, which means 3 over 1 would be three wholes, right? So you'll see 3 rectangles, just like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 different fraction strips like this. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look over on the right-hand side. There's going to be different colored fraction strips. You need to find the one that represents 1/2, right? Because we're looking at halves. And you're going to drag them over. So I could do them in different orders. So I could put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, another one right here, another one right here, another one right here. Okay, they'll just click right into place. So when you're looking at that, you'll be like, oh, okay, so that means that 6 halves is the same as 3 over 1, or 3 wholes. Okay, so that's how you do that section. And when I was looking at it, I don't believe it will have a problem like this, but I will show you it just in case. Okay, because sometimes on Prodigy, it will ask you to do a problem that's dealing with equivalent fractions, and you're not using wholes, you're using actual fractions. So it might say something like this. So represent 1/3 using sixths fraction strips. Okay? So we know that the part we're trying to find is 1/3. Okay? So what I would do first, you'll have your little fraction bar right here. I would find the 1/3 and I would drag it over and I would put it, I'm going to make this one dotted. So you can see this is not the one that we're really using. It will not be dotted in Prodigy. You'll put it right by the fraction strip, okay? The reason why we're putting it right by the fraction strip is because we want to make sure that we see the amount that it needs to take up. Okay, so after we find out the part we need to find, we're going to drag over the sixth. So we'll find that also on the right hand side, the sixth fraction strip. So we're going to grab them, and then we'll put them right here. So we've got one. You can see that doesn't quite equal 1/3. So we'll put another one, two. Oh my goodness, when you look at that, they should line up evenly. Okay, so then I would take this one and I would put it back because we don't want it just hanging loose there. And this would be my answer. So 2/6 is the same thing as 1/3. All right, so that's the part of Prodigy with fraction strips. There might be another part that you're going to have a little bit of a problem with, and that's with comparing fractions. Okay, so I don't know exactly how it words it, but basically it'll say plot two fractions on a number line and then compare them. So you're basically saying which one's bigger, which one's smaller, or are they equal? So it might say plot 1/3 and 1/4 on the number line, then fill in the box with the correct blah 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 blah, right? Might say something like that. So first of all, I'll have a number line. It'll start at 0, go to 1, and we might have like this, okay? And then right here it'll say, okay, we've got 1/2 right here. We need to look at it. So we know that half of half, I did not put that one on correctly. Hold on. Okay, so we might have a label. So right here's 1/4, right here's 3/4, right here is 1/3, right here is 2/3, and this would be, oh goodness, I need to do my math. I think those are eighths, so 1/8 to it. Nope, I did that a little bit wrong. Anyway, so you'll have it labeled somewhere like that on the number line. And then you're going to plot it. So we're going to put a dot on 1/4, a dot on 1/3. If you do not put the dots on the number line, it will mark you wrong. Okay, you have to do every part of this problem, otherwise it will mark you wrong. Then underneath it, it will say 1/4, then it'll have a box, and the box usually has like a little arrow looking thing like that to drop down. It may or may not. Then you'll have 1/3, and when it drops down, you could choose out of greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay, so greater than, less than, or equal to. And we know when we look at this that 1/3 is actually greater than 1/4. So we would put 1/4 is less than 1/3. After we put that in there, we have the correct answer. All right, guys, so please continue to go through your Prodigy assignment. Let me know if you have any other questions. I could do little mini lessons like this to help you out. And I hope that helps clear up any kind of questions or any difficulties you were having. But I'll talk to you later.